Well, hello everybody and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. John Glendale, coming to you live each and every Saturday only here on Top Shelf Oldies. I want to welcome you to the October 26, 2019 Vinyl Treasure Show. It's my all 1960s Vinyl Treasure Show. That happens the last Saturday of every month. Got some cool 60s 45's out of my collection, mainly 1964 to 69, but we kind of overlap very little tonight. Got a couple from 63. I think I got one from 1970 if I get to it. But we open up tonight's 60s edition with the duo Jekyll and Hyde, and the theme from a Whodunit came out on DCP International. Now, this duo is a really Dickie Goodman record producer, writer, label owner, of course, with Buchanan, the originator of those novelty break-ins, and Bill Ramal, he is the other, and he was another independent record producer behind so many hit records. That was the first of two on Don Costa's DCP International label from September 64, Jekyll and Hyde. How's that for a Halloween song? Not really, but theme from a Whodunit is the name of that one. Well, enough of my babbling here. Let's open up the vocal portion with the song title that described the state of the United States when the Beatles arrived from England. Can you guess what that word is? Anyway, the song is called, I'll tell you what it is, called Beatlemania. But this tune sounds more like a surf tune. It's out of Los Angeles, California on a Buddy Jack's Arlen record label. Here are Donnie Ray and the Defiance. We go back to October 1964. It's on the Arlen label. It's called Beatlemania.
I got a 427 in my Mustang. Ain't a thing on the street I can't hang. So why is it now you see me with the frown? The Beatlemania's in town. I used to meet my baby on our night out. Now the Beatles sound has cut me out. So why is it now you see me with the frown? Beatlemania's in town. Beatlemania, Beatlemania.
Sounding more like a surf 45 than a Beatle 45, although they got the girls and everything in there. That one there, October 64. Donnie Ray and the Defiance is the name of the group. It's on the Arlen record label out of Los Angeles, California, song entitled Beatlemania. Let's continue now. The next three songs have dance in the title. As we started off here with a group from Liverpool, England, had 4 singles released here in the United States. 2 came out on the Amcam label. One was on Dot and one was on the Scepter label. Let's give a listen to their second on Amcam, which I have on a one-sided promo DJ. They're called the Limeys. These are the Limeys from May 64 on Amcam. It's called Dance Girl Dance.
Dance girl dance, dance girl dance, dance girl dance with me. All week long I've been wanting to hold your hand and to be with you. Don't you know that's all I'm wanting to do. So dance girl dance, dance girl dance.
where you ought to be. Tell me, girl, why you gone and set me free? So dance, girl, dance. Dance, girl, dance. Dance, girl, dance with me. Dance, girl, dance. Dance, girl, dance. Dance, girl, dance with me. Dance, girl, dance. Come on. Dance, girl, dance. Dance, girl, dance, girl, dance.
They're out of Liverpool, England. They're called the Limeys. And who put the definition of a British? Oh, that's a British for sailor. There you go. Those are the Limeys. Thank you there, Daryl. The Limeys there from May 1964. Dance Girl Dance is the name of that one. Came out on the Amcam record label, and what Amcam used to do is they would only put out on their promos, not always, but I think the majority of the time, one-sided DJ copies. There is no flip side to that, but there are stock copies with a flip side on that 45 anyway. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. It's all 1960s 45s here. That was our first of three with a dance in the title, so let's continue with the dance theme here with a flip side from the last 60s show. I featured the B-side of this 45. It was called It Don't Mean a Thing by an artist. His name is Calvin Williams, the first of two on the Target label, a 45 out of Detroit, Michigan. Let's give a listen to the intended A-side from 1965, Calvin Williams. It's on Target Records. It's called Let's Dance. Scratchy.
Your boyfriend's gone, oh, and you're all alone, then please, oh, won't you dance with me? I don't even know your name. Hey, hey, but little girl, don't you be ashamed. While the music softly plays, we can dance, 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 dance. Hey, girl, I know you haven't seen me around. Seen me around. The fact is, I am just a stranger in town. Stranger in town. So please don't get me wrong. Oh, since we're both alone, then please, oh, won't you dance with me? Don't get me wrong, no doubt. Since we're both alone, then please, oh, won't you dance with me? You don't even know my name. Hey, hey, but little girl, don't you be ashamed. While the music softly plays, we got to dance, dance, dance. Everybody, let's dance, dance, dance. Get together, let's dance.
Wow, that is a scratchy 45. What do you want for $5? The Count sold me that. Don't Tell the Count he sold me that 45. Calvin Williams there, 1965 scratchy copy. I apologize for that, but it's a in-demand record for sure. Let's Dance is the name of that one. It's out of Detroit, Michigan on the Target label. That is the intended A-side. That is our second of three with the dance theme here, so we're going to round it out here with a third dance song as we stay in Detroit, Michigan for a group called the Cavaliers. It's their first of two on the RCA record label. This is the B-side of the 45, and the Northern Soul collectors like this side the best from December 66. Give a listen to the Cavaliers on RCA. It's called Dance Little Girl. That group called the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers on the RCA record label there. Dance Little Girl, December 1966 release. That's the first of two on the RCA record label. That record has gone up in price from when I purchased it. It did. I wouldn't say it's like, a $500 record, but it has gone up a little bit in value. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the cool 1960s sounds here. And we just heard the Cavaliers. This next singer, originally from Portsmouth, Virginia, began his career at age 12 back in 1954. Initially, he was Little Jerry. Then he recorded as Little Jerry Williams, then just Jerry Williams, and then 1970 became Swamp Dogg. But he recorded on various labels through the years. Here's one on the Calla label. This is his second of 4 on Calla. It's a song he co-wrote. This one from February 1966. Give a listen to Jerry Williams. Jerry Williams on Calla. It's called Baby Bunny, Sugar Honey.
Baby, bunny, sugar, honey, baby, bunny, sugar, honey, you're my heart, my soul, my country buttered roll. Thank you, baby. When I met you, I was down, lost, torn and tattered, feet on the ground. You gave me ambition, restored my pride, made me ready for the world. Said, go on now and try. Baby, bunny, sugar, honey, baby, bunny, sugar, honey, you're my heart, my soul, my country buttered roll. Thank you, baby. I'll take your dreams, fulfill them, make them all so real. I'm gonna give you everything I can beg, borrow or steal. 'Cause you could've left me where you met me. Never dreamed that I would extend to help me. All you could, girl. That's why I'm yours till the day that I die. Baby, bunny, sugar, honey, baby, bunny, sugar,
February 66 release there for Jerry Williams, a.k.a. Little Jerry Williams, a.k.a. Swamp Dogg. Baby Bunny, parentheses, Sugar Honey is the name of that one on the Calla record label. I like his for the B-side to his first release, Just What Do You Plan to Do About It? I always like that record. I like Jerry Williams. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here. I really love this next tune. I remember my aunt purchasing this in the summer of 1968. The group is out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, as this originally came out on the Beach label, hence it's a beach sound for those of you that like the beach sound. I think it's Brad and John Hall, if you're tuned in. I know you're going to like this tune. It was picked up by Jerry Ross's Heritage label, made it up to number 39 on Billboard, number 35 on Cashbox. It did well regionally in a number of places, did well here in New York City, also did well on WRAW in in Reading, Pennsylvania was a big number 2 on that survey. This, though, was first recorded by Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs, I think on the VJ label back in 64. But let's move up 4 years to 1968 for a version by Bill Deal and the Rondells from August 1968 on Heritage Records. The song is called May I. Beach music here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Although in 1968 it was not called beach music. That was like a new term much later, when all that shag dancing started taking off. There probably was always shag dancing, but it kind of got to like this big thing that a lot of people do, down south in the beach area music down in South Carolina, North Carolina, etc. But anyway, that's a cool record there. Bill Deal and the Rondells. August 68 release. I featured it on the Heritage label. I do have it on the Beach label also, but not in great shape. But that tune there, May I, the first of 6 releases on the Heritage record label. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here. Up next, two brothers from the state of Florida had this one release on Joe Evans' Carnival record label. They're known as the Turner Brothers, not to be confused with the Turner Brothers from Indianapolis. These guys are from Florida. We go back to November of 1968 on the Carnival label, the Turner Brothers with My Love Is Yours Tonight.
Taking a ride on a cozy ask you to please share my name. Baby, I love you. Baby, I love you. Baby, I love you. Baby, I love you. I love you, darling. Oh yeah, I love your love, your baby, baby. My love is yours tonight. Come on and get all of my love. Oh, I love you, baby. I got to have you for my very own. Got to have your
They're called the Turner Brothers. Turner Brothers, November 1968. That's their only release on the Carnival record label. My Love Is Yours. It says TO2-Night is on the label there. That's the intended B-side of the 45 anyway. The flip side's a nice soulful ballad too. Anyway, that one there mid-tempo anyway. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Barbara wants me to be on camera a little bit more. I tell her, Barbara, I said the collectors want to see the 45s. They don't want to see Johnny G's ugly face. They want to see the 45s. So I'll be going back and forth. I'll be going more back to the records, folks, in 1 second here. Now, this next singer is originally from Birmingham, Alabama, came on the scene back in 1965 on the Backbeat label, then released 2 on South Camp in 1967, and another one that came out on the Quinvy label. I think I have a record on that label. I don't know if it's by him. Which brings us to this next release on the New York City Diamond label. And it's a song he wrote. His name is Don Varner. And we go back to July of 1969 for a tune he wrote, Don Varner, on Diamond Records. It's called More Power to Ya.
I struggle hard all my life because I had future plans. We sat down to discuss them, baby, you seem to understand. From that day to this, we had vowed we'd never quit. But then you turn your back on me, baby, play the low down dirty chick. If you wanna leave me, baby, if you wanna leave me, darling, more power to you. I worked hard, baby, trying to do things for you. But the harder I tried, it just seemed to be no use. I ate meat from a can, Lord knows, for a mighty long, long time. And now you decide you wanna change your mind. If you wanna leave me, baby, if you wanna leave me, darling, more power to you. I tried hard not to believe what my neighbors had to say, but the truth came to the light when I came home early one day.
Richie 45's. I have to apologize for some of the records. Unfortunately, you get them for 10 cents in the past. Johnny G doesn't get them for 10 cents anymore, but that's Don Varner, July 1969 on the Diamond record label. More Power to You is the name of that one. Has one more release. It came out in 1971 on the House of Orange label. As we continue here for a Saturday evening, here's some blue-eyed soul singer from Camden, New Jersey. He was known as the Human Percolator, and he recorded on a number of different labels through the years. And this one that I'm featuring initially came out on the V-Tone label, which I do have. I think I have a yellow V-Tone copy of this. It was picked up by Atlantic Records. I have it on, of course, both. Johnny G is a completist, as you know, but I'm featuring the Atlantic single. This is the intended B-side, written and arranged by Horace Ott. This one from September 1966, actually arranged by Horace Ott. Now, September 1966, Billy Harner on Atlantic. It's called Everything's Hunky Dory.
I used to keep a pocket full of dreams, and I dreamed of dreams night. Oh, in the morning, don't you know I was full of pride? Hey, I'm so busy now, around me, 'cause everything's a hunky dory. Everything's a hunky dory. Walk around so sad and pitiful, like I just lost my best friend. There was a dark shadow over my head, like anything might have been the end. But girl, now that we're together, I know we're gonna be here forever, 'cause everything's a hunky dory. Everything's a hunky dory. The rest of my life being good to you, 'cause you've been so good to me. And I'm gonna spend the rest of my life being good to you, 'cause you made me happier than any man could be. Everything's a hunky dory. Everything's a hunky dory. Everything's alright. Everything's alright. Everything's alright. What you say? Hunky dory. Everything's a hunky dory. Everything's alright. Everything's alright. Everything's alright.
That's on the Atlantic record label. Originally came out on V-Tone Records. Billy Harner there. Billy Harner, September 1966. Actually, that is the intended B-side of the 45. Everything's Hunky Dory. The flip's a nice ballad. I wanted to play the flip, but I needed an up-tempo at this juncture of the record show. Yes, I did. But anyway, you will hear it on the next 60 show. Let's continue here. Let's go back to Los Angeles, California, to Sid Talmadge's Highland record label for this artist by the name of Chris May, who wrote and produced this tune. And it's another in-demand 45 to the Northern Soul collectors. Let's go back to September 1966. Highland Records, Chris May. It's called Hey Baby, parentheses, Come On Home.
Hey baby, hey baby, hey baby, I need you so much, girl.
I miss your touch now. I love you so much, yeah. Girl, won't you come on home? 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 Hey, hey. Won't you come on home? Won't you come on home? Yeah. Hey, baby. The way that you hold me now, the way that you kiss me now, the way you thrill me, yeah. Girl, won't you come on home? 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 Hey, hey. Won't you come on home? Won't you come on home? Yeah. That night we spent together underneath that big bright moon. I can't stand these days without you. I'm so lonely and blue. Hey baby, won't you hear my plea? Yeah. I'm down on my knees, girl. Child, I'm begging you, please now. Hey, won't you come on home? Won't you come on home? Won't you come on home? Hey, won't you come on home? I'm begging you, baby. Won't you come on home? Yeah. Hey, won't you come on home? Won't you come on home? Hey, hey. Won't you come on home? Yeah. Hey, make yourself come on home. Yeah, yeah. Won't you come on home? Hey, won't you come on home?
That's the first of two for Chris May on Sid Talmadge's Highland record label. September 1966, Hey Baby, parentheses, Come On Home is the name of that one. I think the only hit, well, the biggest hit on the Highland record label, of course, was a Rosie and the Originals with Angel Baby. But I think he own Rampart Records too? I think he did, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, Johnny G here for a Saturday evening spinning original vinyl 45's here. Now, this next singer-songwriter was born in Houston, Texas, but she moved to Nashville, Tennessee. Now, later in her career, she wrote many award-winning songs that were recorded by different artists like Don McLean and Hank Williams Jr., and she wrote this song that I'm featuring when she was 16 years old. Initially, it came out on the Ventural label, a local label out of, was it Conroe, Texas, I think you said, Charlene, but anyway, it was picked up by Fontana Records. This one charted locally, number 22 on KNUZ out of Houston, Texas. Let's go back to December of 1965. Her name is Terry Sharp. Terry Sharp on Fontana Records. It's called A Love That Will Last.
When I saw you walking down the street, I said, looks like the kind of guy I like to meet. I've loved you from the start. I said I love you, and I want you to know that I'm never, never, never gonna let you go. You're the one who makes my heart beat fast, and I think we got love, a love that will last. Well, the day that I met you, babe, is the day that I knew I would stay in your arms till the end of time, and I think we got love, a love that will last.
Yes, North Dakota Bob, Huey Muse produced that 45 there. That's on the Fontana record label. Her name is Terry Sharp. Terry Sharp, December 1965 release, a song entitled A Love That Will Last. Unfortunate that she died from a clot in the brain December 17th of 2015 at the age of 67. But she made her mark on the music history with that 45. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here. Can't tell you much about this next artist. It's on the Mala record label. The song was produced by Bill Justice, written by Lee Pockris and Paul Vance, and it's the only release for this singer by the name of Ronnie Angel. I'm featuring the plug side of the 45. Let's go back to April 1965. Mala Records for Ronnie Angel. It's called I Saw the Sky.
Night, walking home, I never can decide which is worse, where I'm working or the subway ride. On my block, there's no flowers 'cause they just can't grow. All around, run down buildings in a shabby row. I saw the sky. Hey there, sky, let me tell you that you sure look good. Never thought I would see you in my neighborhood. Never thought I would see you in this part of town. Always been too busy looking down. Then I started telling people who passed me by, just by looking up, just by looking up, I saw the sky, a piece of the sky, almost hidden by clotheslines and TV antennas. Would you believe it? I saw the sky. I saw the sky. I saw the sky. I saw the sky.
April 65 there, Ronnie Angel on the Mala record label. I Saw the Sky is the name of that one. That's the plug side. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the sky tomorrow, at least in the New York City area. It's supposed to be raining, pouring. I think it's raining now. Another Sunday of rain, but hopefully you're digging on the cool tunes here, making you happy. Anyway, let's continue here. This next singer was a professional baseball player for the Boston Red Sox, but his career was ended early when he was hit in the eye by a pitch, and that really put him out of commission. He couldn't see the ball as well anymore, and he kind of gave up. I forget what year he retired, maybe in the early 70s sometime, but he put out some recordings during the off season when he was a ball player, and here's one on RCA, which first came out on the Pentone label. It's arranged by Charlie Colello. This one charted regionally, number 6 on WKBR in Manchester, New Hampshire. Let's go back to January 1965 for Tony Canigliaro. Tony Canigliaro on the RCA record label, and a song called Playing the Field.
girl died. Guess I was kinda shy, but I got a real bad deal. So I'm going out, gonna play the field.
Gonna play the field.
Now I'm no rookie at love. I know what girls are made of, and some hearts I'm gonna steal while I'm going out, gonna play the field. I'm getting tired of striking out, looking for the only one. I'm gonna try a brand new pitch and have some fun. So hear me when I say I'll settle down someday. But baby, this is for real. You know I'm going out, gonna play the field.
Gonna play the field.
I'm getting tired of striking out, looking for the only one. I'm gonna try a brand new pitch and have some fun. So hear me when I say I'll settle down someday. But baby, this is for real. You know I'm going out, gonna play the field.
Gonna play the field. Gonna play the field. Gonna play the field.
January 65 release there for Tony Canigliaro. Tony Canigliaro featured it on the RCA record label. First came out on the Pentone label. That's a Charlie Calello tune there. Playing the Field is the name of that one. Now, Tony Canigliaro was my girlfriend's, Barbara's mother's cousin, direct cousin, as Barbara's mother's Dorothy Canigliaro, and she does keep in touch with that part of the family. They are in Boston. They still are in Boston. And that's the first of 3 on RCA. He does have other releases on other labels, but that one, they're actually pretty cool too, because they use like baseball terms in the total, even though in the title, I mean in the song, even though it's not like a baseball song. Anyway, Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue here. Hope you're digging on the tunes here. Let's go up to, we have another duo of brothers here, originally from Illinois, but they settled in Los Angeles, California. They go by the name of Lanny and Robert Duncan, and they wrote this tune plus others. They actually wrote Let's Go by the Routers. Now, Lanny also had some solo releases in the early 60s. Maybe you own some of his records on the Candix label, but this is the second of 2 they recorded on the Capitol label. We go back to July of 1966 for the Duncan brothers on Capitol. It's called Make Me What You Want Me to Be.
Make me what you want me to be. Make me what you want me to be.
It doesn't take much, just a simple touch from your hand. Baby, baby, I look in your eyes and suddenly I understand that it's the warmth of your charms when you're in my arms that make me feel this way. Love me, take me, love me, take me, make me what you want me to be. Make me what you want me to be. My head's in the clouds, I feel like I'm walking on air. Baby, baby, this
happens to me every time that you're near. 'Cause you do something to me. You do something to me. Love me, take me, love me, take me. I'm yours, heart and soul, to have and to hold. I'm just a string around your finger, clay to mold in your hand. And here I stand. Love me, take me, love me, take me. Make me what you want me to be. Make me what you want me to be. Make me what you want me to be. Love me, take me. Make me what you want me to be. Love me, take me. Come on, make me what you want me to be. Love me, take me. Please make me what you want me to. Love me, take me. Make me what you.
That's the second of two for the Duncan Brothers on the Capitol record label, July 1966 release there. Make me what you want me to be. You want Johnny G to be at all 1960s. We do that the last Saturday of every month. And I hope you're digging on these cool 60s tunes. Let's continue now. Now, you know it's more difficult for me to find requests for the All 60s show because most of my 60s 45s are not filed in the right place. It would take a very long time to get them filed too. I have it bad enough to file back the 1950s stuff, but for these 1960s, oh my goodness, it's like potluck when I find records. And I was lucky to find this 45. Actually, it was a couple weeks ago. I was looking for a 50s record, and of course this one turned up. But it's a request for listener Chuck Staton. He requested the Four Shells, a group out of Chicago, Illinois, but they were called the Shells originally with their first release on the Conlo label, which was a Philadelphia label, and maybe they just continued to play their records because this one came out on the Volt label. It was produced by Jerry Butler and Eddie Thomas. This one charted regionally. This was number 18 on WMID in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So by request for Chuck, we go back to March of 1966, the Four Shells on Volt. It's called Hot Dog, My Baby's Coming Home.
Hot dog,
As by request for listener Chuck Staton, March 1966. The Four Shells there on the Volt record label. Hot Dog, My Baby's Coming Home is the name of that one. I have that on a Volt promo, that tune there. Anyway, Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here. Time to play a 45 from 1963. I don't have many, but sometimes we venture. I mentioned it earlier in the show. Got a couple records from 1963 and one from 1970, but it's all 1960. So I really try to keep within the 64 to 69, that range. But this release came out in August of 1963 by this group called the Escorts. They had two releases on the RCA record label. This is their first, arranged by Jack Nietzsche. This one from August 63, as I said, on the Escorts on RCA with You Can't Even Be My Friend.
Can't even be my friend. No, 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 no. You can't even be my friend. You walk around with your head in the air. You had a good thing, but you didn't care. I gave you all my love and you threw it away. Now you're back again, and here's what I'll say. No, 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 no. No, no. Let me tell you now, yeah, can't even be my friend. And when I see you walking down the street, I turn around for fear we'll meet. My mind is strong, but my heart is weak, and I can hardly speak. No, 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 no. Let me tell you now, yeah, can't even be my friend. First there was Tommy, and then it was Jim. Saw Fred today, you had a date with him. Just how much do you think I can take? If I speak to you, I know my poor heart will break. No, 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 no. Let me tell you now, yeah, can't even be my friend. You always made me cry. You always told me lie. You used to come to me with your sad alibi. No, 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 no. Let me tell you now, yeah, can't even be my friend. No, no,
That's the first of two for the Escorts. The Escorts, August 1963 on the RCA record label. You Can't Even Be My Friend. Well, you can be my friend every Saturday from 10 to midnight and longer right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Hope you're digging on the tunes here as we continue here. Now, I can't tell you much about this next 45 except that it came out on the Bragg label, B-R-A-G-G, Bragg Records. It's out of Nashville, Tennessee. It was written by someone by the name of Henry Prince and Billy Reeves, and the group is known as the Green Gang. The Green Gang. It's from January 66. Let's give it a spin. The Green Gang on Bragg. It's called She Means That Much to Me.
Every time I see her walking by, I have to hang my head and cry. I'm still in love with her, though she's gone. much to me.
There you go, with a group called The Green Gang. The Green Gang there on the Bragg record label, January 1966. She Means That Much to Me. So if anybody knows anything about that group, send Johnny G an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. Let's continue now. This next group, they're out of Essex, England. They had a number of releases over in the UK, but only 3 of those made it here to the U.S., and they were all on the Jubilee label. And here is their first on Jubilee, and it's a cover of a tune first recorded by the Avalons on the Roulette label back in 1964. Now, this version came out in July of 1965. It features Peter Wright on lead. As we go to Jubilee Records, give a listen to the Transatlantics. The Transatlantics from July 65. It's called Many Things from Your Window.
You can always see many things from your window. Oh yeah, you can always see many things from your window. Oh yeah, you can see the stars up in the sky. You can see another walking by. You can always see many things from your window. You can always see many things from your window. Oh yeah, you can always see many things from your window. Oh yeah, you can see her with another guy. It makes you feel as though you wanna cry. You can always see many things from your window. You can always hear many things from your window. Oh yeah, you can always hear many things from your window. Oh yeah, you can hear her saying with a smile that she's in love with another guy. You can always hear many things from your window. Many things from your window. Many things from your window. Many things from your window.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Transatlantics. July 1965, that's the first of 3 on the Jubilee record label. Many Things from Your Window is the name of that one. Originally done by the Avalons in 1964 on Roulette Records. I usually play the flip of that Avalons. This Is the End, a great group record. But the flip side of that, actually a cool 60s record too by the Avalons. Anyway, we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Here's a girl group out of Washington, D.C., recorded for the local GEL label, and with their first release in late 1964, which would then be picked up by Atlantic Records. So I know I have that that record on Atlantic. But their second was licensed out to Jerry Simon's RSVP label out of New York City. So let's give it a spin here. February 1965. They're called the Dorells, D-O-R-E-L-L-E-S, the Dorells. It's on RSVP, and the song is called Good Luck to the Lucky Girl. They're called the Dorrells. The Dorrells, February 65 release. It's on the RSVP record label out of New York City. Good Luck to the Lucky Girl is the name of that one. Let's move on here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, this next group is actually a five-piece London-based group that was manufactured by the RCA London, and it was manufactured to compete with the U.S. manufactured Monkees, like the same type of concept. You know, they were calling for, I guess, tryouts, etc. Now, this group, though, was based on a Super Marionation series, very similar to, like, Supercar or Fireball XL5, and I think on that UK show was Captain Scarlet and the Mysterians. Now, Spectrum was the name of the Earth Security Organization, hence the group was called Spectrum, and they had 4 releases on the RCA record label. Now, this was their first. This was a #1 record in Germany, by the way. Let's go back to April of 1967. It features Colin Forsey on lead. This group is called Spectrum. On RCA, it's called Samantha's Mine.
I feel so good, hey, I feel so fine. Today, Samantha's mine. From this day on, and there's some more. I feel so sure, Samantha's mine. To each his own. I do believe I'll never leave that girl alone. I found that girl, I stood in line. Now I can tell Samantha's mine. So listen please, child of winter time, she stays with me, Samantha's mine. I feel so good, I feel so fine. Today, Samantha's mine. From this day on, and then some more. I feel so sure, Samantha's mine. Samantha's mine. Samantha's mine. Samantha's mine.
April 1967 there for Spectrum. Spectrum, the name of the group. RCA Records, a song entitled Samantha's Mine, and that was what, their first of, what did I say, their first of 4. That's their first release, or no, Johnny G losing his mind. Anyway, as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, let's go back, well, let's stay in the UK with this group out of Birmingham, England. They recorded 2 on the Durham label. This is their first, written by a guitarist for the group, Roy Wood. It was produced by Denny Cordell. It features Carl Wayne on lead. This one charted regionally. This was number 22 on WYND out of Sarasota, Florida. Now, they had later releases on A&M and United Artists, and this group eventually evolved into the Electric Light Orchestra, but before that, they were called The Move. Let's go back to January 1967 for The Mood on Durham Records. It's called Night of Fear.
Silent night has turned to a night of fear. The wind
much for your mind. Bell strikes and your spine chills like the grave. A chill that turns your blood from red to gray. You know that with these things you see and hear, the silent night has turned to a night of fear. Image on your bedroom wall, shadows marching in the hall. Just about to flip your mind, just about to trip your mind, just about to flip your mind, just about to trip your mind. Green and purple lights affect your sight. Your mother cannot comfort you tonight. Your brain calls out for help that's never there. The silent light has turned to a light of fear. Image on your bedroom wall, shadows marching in the hall. Just about to flip your mind, just about to trip your mind, just about to flip your mind, just about to trip your mind. Silent night has turned to a night of fear, with windows howling wind into your ear. You listen to the spirits far behind. These things you hear are too much for your mind. Just about to flip your mind, just about to trip your mind, just about to flip your mind, just about to trip your mind.
They're called The Move. The Move from January 1967. It's on the Durham label. Song entitled Night of Fear. That group eventually evolved into the ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. Johnny G here spinning original vinyl 45s. Now this next artist, he's from Richland, Georgia, and began recording in 1962 at the age of 10 as Little Steve for the Guidon label. Then at 12 years old started acting on Broadway and TV. But when he turned 14, he tried recording again. Now here's the second of two. He recorded for MGM, this tune written by Billy Swan. Billy Swan wrote this tune from November 66. Give a listen to Steve Sanders. Steve Sanders on MGM. The song is called If That Ain't Love, in parentheses, I Don't Know What Is.
I cheated on her just once and she found out I did her wrong. And I was so afraid to see her 'cause I did her wrong. But she
That's the second of two for on MGM Records for Steve Sanders, November 1966. If that ain't love, in parentheses, I don't know what is. And in 1987, he would join the Oak Ridge Boys, but on June 10th of 1998, he committed suicide at the age of 45, unfortunately. But anyway, I have to agree with Jeff. That is a cool tune there by Steve Sanders. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here. This next group originated at Lincoln High School in East LA, and in 1964 they signed with Eddie Davis's Linda label. They had 5 releases, and here's their fourth. It was this tune written by the rhythm guitarist for the group and the lead singer Max Ubelez. And we go back to March of 1966. They're called the Romancers. The Romancers on Linda. It's called She Gives Me Love.
The sun don't shine, I'll use a light in my baby's eyes. And I don't care if it should storm, I got my baby to keep me warm. And she gives me love every day, some every day, love every day. Nighttime when I feel bad, 'cause everything is gone wrong, I see my baby, she makes me glad. She's the thing that makes me strong, 'cause she gives me love every day, some every day, love every day.
That's the fourth of 5 for the Romancers on the Linda label, March 1966. She Gives Me Love is the name of that one. Randy says it sounds a little bit like the Ides of March. You wouldn't listen. Yes, it does. That's a cool tune there. And they would later change their name to the Smoke Rings, with releases also on the Linda label and Prospect and the Dot record label. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue, and we head to Detroit, Michigan for this to the Motown subsidiary VIP Records for the Spinners. Now, their biggest hit on the VIP would have to be that 1970 release, It's a Shame, which I bought when it came out, by the way, in the record stores. But this release is prior to that. This one, though, first came out on Motown 1155 as that was their last Motown single, but then it became reissued to be their first single on the VIP record label. This one features Bobby Smith on lead. Let's go to October of 1969. These are the Spinners on VIP, and the tune is called She's Gonna Love Me at Sundown.
I've got a sweetie pie.
October 69 release for the Spinners on the VIP record label. Song entitled, actually the full title in parentheses, She's Gonna Love Me, close parentheses, at Sundown. Bobby Smith on lead for that one. This was released twice on the VIP label. First released as VIP 25050, which is the one that I played. It was flipped with In My Diary. Then VIP 25054 flipped with Message from a Black Man. And of course I featured the first one. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here and back to Los Angeles, California for this group that initially recorded as The Sound of the Seventh Son on the Tower label, but then they became the East Side Kids with a release on the Orange Empire label, and then this one that I'm featuring, which came out on the Valhalla label, written by the pianist of the group, Jimmy Greenspoon, who would later become a member of Three Dog Night in 1968. But this side produced by Larry Tamblyn, and it features Joe Madrid on lead. Let's go to September of 1967. They're called the East Side Kids. I have it on the Valhalla label. It's called Listen to the Wise Man. They're called the East Side Kids. East Side Kids, September 67 on the Valhalla record label. Listen to the Wise Man. Listen to Johnny G. Tune in from 10 to midnight every Saturday right here on Top Shelf Oldies, featuring original vinyl 45s. It's my all 60s edition. It's the last Saturday of every month. Let's continue now. A few weeks ago on my 50s and early 60s show, I featured the flip of this 45 by a group called the Soothers. They were out of Harlem, New York, and they turned out to be the Harp Tones without their lead singer, Willie Winfield. I played the intended B-side of the 45 on that 50s show. It was called The Little White Cloud That Cried. That's a cover of the Johnny Ray tune, but let's flip it over for the intended A-side. It features Hank, I can't say his name, Hank Jernigan. He's on lead. He also co-wrote the tune, this one from July of 64. They're called the Soothers. The Soothers on port. It's called I Believe in You.
said that I'm a fool. Someone said that you're no good. I don't believe it, baby, 'cause I believe in you. I believe in you. Someone said that you run around with any man in town. I don't believe it, baby, 'cause I believe in you. Well, I don't care what you do to someone else. Let me tell you, girl, as long as you're good to me. Whoa, you're so confident, say you got a guy. You don't have to tell me that they're telling a lie. I don't believe it anyway, 'cause I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in you, baby. I believe in you. Oh, I don't care what you do to someone else. Let me tell you, girl, as long as you're good to me. Whoa, you're so confident, say you got it right. You don't have to tell me that they're telling all. Don't believe it anyway, 'cause I believe in you. I believe in you, baby, and I love you too. Wow, baby, I believe in you. Wow, oh, baby. Stop that thing back now, girl.
They are called the Soothers. The Soothers, July 1964, a.k.a. the Harp Tones, without their lead, with a regular lead, Willie Winfield. And those are the Soothers with I Believe in You, that one there on the Port label. And we continue now for this next group. They are out of Australia, but this was issued in the United States on the GMP Crescendo label. And it's a cover song, was first recorded by an artist by the name of Brent Edwards in January of '63. On the Philadelphia-based Karen label, a tune written by Johnny Madera and David White. But here is the version by Ray Brown and the Whispers out of Australia from September '65. It's on the GMP Crescendo label, a song entitled Pride.
When you go out with another guy, how it hurts my pride. Oh, you'll never know how it hurts me so way down deep inside. I feel so bad, but I don't feel mad. What can I do? I love only you. And so I swallow my pride, and then I kept it inside because I heard that pride is such a little word. I took you out to see other night to a movie show. Oh, right at the end you saw a friend and said you had to go. You walked away and left me alone. What could I say when he walked you home? I had to swallow my pride, and then I kept it inside because I heard that pride is such a little word. Oh, each night I pray for the day you say that you really care. Oh, I'm sure you'll find that we'll love in time. Look around, I'll be there. The day will come, we'll be as one, and I'll go to her. But until then, is such a little word. That pride is such a little word. That pride is such a little word.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's Ray Brown and the Whispers, September 1965 release. They're out of Australia. That's on Gene Norman's GMP Crescendo label. A song entitled Pride. As we move on here, we go back to the girl group sound, this time to Morris Levy's Roulette record label for this quartet. They would record as the Little Bits on the Dynavoice record label, but before that they were called the Carolines, and it features the lead of Carol Mancuso and the song written by Larry Weiss and Tony Catalano. This one from October of 1966. These are the Carolines on the Roulette label. It's called Can't Stop Lovin' the Boy. Girl groups here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. They're called the Carolines, October 1966. On Morris Levy's Roulette record label, song entitled Can't Stop Lovin' the Boy. Cool tune there as we move on here on these 1960s 45s. And earlier I played a 45 on the Motown subsidiary VIP by the Spinners out of Detroit. Well, here's another group called, another group on the VIP record label. They're called The Vows, but they were from Los Angeles, California. The song written by J. Frank Wilson and Mark Gordon. Features Maurice Chestnut on lead. We go back to May of 1965. Give a listen to The Vows on the VIP label. It's called Tell Me.
Without a doubt, I'm
Those are the Vows. The Vows on from May 1965 on the VIP record label, song entitled "Tell Me." I don't know why I said. I don't even know why I said J.F. Wilson. That's not correct. Of course it's not. They're two different people. Frank Wilson. I was thinking of the guy that did "Do I Love You" on the on the Soul label. I think one of the rarest Motown records. I didn't mean J. Frank Wilson. That is the guy that does that, what is that song? Last Kiss. Yes, completely different people. Sorry about that, folks. Johnny G losing his mind here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue here. And this next group, they're out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, started recording in 1964 on the Red Feather label. Then the lead of the group started his own label. He called it Levette Records and had his own release on the label. Now, the song I'm playing initially came out on the Space label, which I think was a division of his Levette label, but then it was picked up by Challenge Records as we go back to December of 1966 for Lindy Blasky and the Lavelles. It's featuring it on the Challenge label. It's called You Ain't Tough.
You're walking down the sidewalk, baby, just like you own the block. Ain't that, baby? You're talking down other people, ain't that, baby? Knocking things you know you should not, ain't that, baby? You say you got 1 hour, ain't that, baby? Just to pass with me the time, ain't that, baby? Then you go meet somebody, baby, ain't that, baby? Who's just dropping you a line, ain't that, baby? You ain't tough, baby. No, not so much to me. You ain't tough, baby. There's other fishes in the sea. Wow, baby. You're not the queen of Egypt, baby. You're not the ruler of the Nile, ain't that, baby? You'll never be the queen of Sheba, ain't that, baby? You're not worth my while, ain't that, baby? You might try to buy and sell me, baby, ain't that, baby? For any size amount, ain't that, baby? But you don't impress nobody, baby, ain't that, baby? With your mother's charge you can't, ain't that, baby? You ain't tough, baby. No, not so much to me. You ain't tough, baby. Go away and let me be. Wow, baby.
Walking through Johnny G's garage for a bit there. Lindy Blasky and the Lavelles, December 1966. Originally came out on the Space label. I don't even know if I might have it on that label. I might. But this one's on the Challenge label. It's called You Ain't Tough. Johnny G is tough on Saturday from 10 to midnight, spinning original vinyl 45s. Let's continue now. I featured a group from Australia a few records ago. It was Ray Brown and the Whispers. How about a group out of Canada? They're from Regina, Saskatchewan, and it's on a label called Gaiety Records, which is it is a Canadian label, and a lot of those releases did sell here in the United States. And this is the first of two on the Gaiety. And the lead guitarist is also the lead singer for the group. His name is Barry Keating, and we go back to September of 1968. They're called the White Knights. The White Knights on the Gaiety label. It's called Love That's True.
You say that I can have all that I want.
a love that's true, a love that's really true, like the love I have for you, like the love I have for you, like the love I have for you.
They're called the White Knights. The White Knights are out of Canada. That one there, September 1968 is the date on that one. It's on the Gaiety record label. It's called Love That's True is the name of that tune. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue here. I have another request for California listener Diane. Diane, I'm playing a record you wanted me to play. She likes the Los Angeles-based group called The Midnighters. And on my last 50s and early 60s show, I played a song called Sad Girl, as done by the Galahads on the Starla label. Now, this song originally recorded by Jay Wiggins in 1963 on the IPG label. So let's send this version out to listener Diane in California, as done by The Midnighters. This one from April 1965. The Midnighters on Chattahoochee with their rendition of the tune Sad Girl.
Sad girl, you look so sad. Did he break your heart? Gee, that's too bad. I guess now you see our love can't be sad, girl. Forget that guy. Come on, let's smile now. Please won't you try? Get a hold of yourself. Come on and find someone else. Open up your heart, girl. Make a settle, make a brand new start. Please don't you cry, just go out and find yourself another guy. Sad girl, you just hold your head up high. Things are really gonna change, I know, yeah, as time goes by, because that's the way love goes. Why no one to know? Everybody's somebody's fool. You're no exception to the rule. So say you do, pretty baby, yeah, yeah. Everybody had a good day, yeah. Your day is gonna come, I know. When you find a love that's so true. One love, baby, yeah, yeah. One love that's meant for you. Lord, love you, pretty baby, yeah, yeah. Sad girl. Oh, please, won't you please come back to me? 'Cause I know he can never love you the way that I do.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the THEE, The Midnighters. April 1965 release on the Chattahoochee label. Sad Girl is the name of that one. The third of 6 releases on Ruth Conte's Chattahoochee label, going out to Diane. As we continue here, this next singer is out of San Francisco, California. Released about a half a dozen 45's between 1962 and 1966. Many of them very much in demand by the Northern Soul collectors on on labels like Penthouse and Beechwood and Baytown, plus others. Now, here's one on the Daytona label, and we can kind of call this one an answer song to Gene Chandler's big hit on VJ, Duke of Earl. I know many of you are familiar with the Duke of Earl, but let's give a listen to this one from 1965. It's by Troy Dodds. Troy Dodds on the Daytona label. It's called Count of Love. That's Troy Dodds. Troy Dodds from 1965. It's on the Daytona record label. Song entitled Count of Love, of course, inspired by Gene Chandler's Duke of Earl for sure. As we continue here on Vinyl Treasure Overtime now, and that Troy Dodds 45 made me think of this next 45 out of Fort Worth, Texas. This gal goes by the name of Johnny Wade. Johnny Wade's her name, and she's covering a song first written and recorded by Bobby Skelton on the King label back in 1964. But let's move up a year to 1965 for this gal by the name of Johnny Wade. Johnny Wade, it's on a label called Campo, C-A-M-P-O. It's called Just Two People.
I see the lights down below. I hear the people as they come and go, but to us, there's just two people in the world. I see the children as they play. I see the busy people on their way, but to us, there's just two people in the world. Whenever you're with me, we let our love surround us. And when we're in a crowd, it seems there's no one else around us. Oh, you touch my hand and we're alone. We're in a world all our own, and to us, there's just two people in the world. Whenever you're with me, we let our love surround us. And when we're in a crowd, it seems there's no one else around us. You touch my hand and we're alone. We're in a world all our own, and to us, there's just two people in the world. And to us, there's just two people in the world. And to us, there's just two people.
1965 there, Johnny Wade's Her Name. Just Two People is the name of the tune. Came out on the Campo record label. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime now. How about another flip side from the last 60s show, as I played the B-side of this 45 on the last show on the Clock label by Little Nat and the Etiquettes. It was called Blah, Blah, Blah. But let's give a spin to the intended A-side before I file it back down. In the No Humidity Basement, this one also out of the year 1965. It's Clock Records. It's Little Nat and the Etiquettes. It's called You're So Close. As Little Nate, that's a cool tune there. Little Nate and the Etiquettes. Little Nate and the Etiquettes, 1965. It's on the Clock label. I don't know. I don't think it's the same clock that Dave Baby Cortez recorded on. This is a different Clock label. It's called You're So Close is the name of that tune. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening, and it looks like that the Nationals were not close tonight. And the Astros did good tonight, so Charlene and Brent should be happy with that score. And it kind of relates to what the Astros did. They played pretty good tonight. And up next, this female singer from Philadelphia, PA, had 13 releases on the Cameo label, and her real name is Dionne LaRue, but most of us know her as Dee Dee Sharp. Now, this should have been a national hit, but unfortunately, it was not. It was produced by Bob Crew, arranged by Charlie Colello. It's her 9th release on the Cameo label. We go back to October 1964 for Miss Dee Dee Sharp on the Cameo label, and a song entitled Good. We know that the Houston Astros are feeling good tonight, but that's Dee Dee Sharp there, October 1964. Her 9th of 13 releases on the Cameo label, song entitled Good. That's a big, yes, Andrew, a big Northern Soul record for her. And that record goes for some bucks. I don't know, I paid a couple dollars for that. Actually picked up a couple copies of that floating around down in the no humidity basement. Johnny G's here for a Saturday evening, spinning original vinyl 45s. Up next, a pair of twin sisters out of Chicago, Illinois. They were Ellen and Elaine Rangel, or Rangel. I think that's how you say it, Rangel, and they were known as the Cresslins, and they have this lone release by it came out in mid-1963 on the Belltone record label. Let's give it a spin here. The Cresslins on Belltone. It's called Boom Chippa Boom.
Bum, 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 bum.
Those are twin sisters called the Kreslins from mid-1963 on the Belltone record label. Boom Chip-a-Boom is the name of that one. Ellen and Elaine Rangel is their name. And Ellen Rangel recorded as Little Ellen on the Smash label in 1961, and her twin sister Elaine joined a group called The Neighborhood on the Big Tree label back in 1970. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here. Really have no clue about this next 45, although I do have another 45 on this label. It's called Ideal Records, a song by the Stereos that I have featured on my 50s show a number of times, a song called Life. Actually, I also featured it here on the 60s show. But this group is called the Four Challengers. The Four Challengers. The tune is written by Dale Bowser, and I think the label is out of Philadelphia, not sure, but it's from 1965. Let's give it a spin. The Four Challengers on Ideal. It's called Love Me When You Can. Sounds of 1965 here on the Vinyltreasure Show. They're called the Four Challengers. The Four Challengers came out on the Ideal record label, really weird label with the numbering system on that. I have a 3 or 4 records on that label. It's called Love Me When You Can is the name of that tune. Tune into the Vinyltreasure Show when you can. We continue now, and I have my Halloween tune of the night. And, of course, it's by Bobby Pickett, and he's known for those Monster Mash tunes on the Garpax label. This one's on the White Whale label. It's a song he wrote together with Lenny Capizzi, and who also produced it, and it's a Novelty Halloween tune. I wonder if Brian has this song here as we touch on the 70s for this one. October 1970 for this release. It's our Halloween tune of the night by Bobby Pickett on the White Whale label. It's called Monster Concert.
master. They're still arriving, over 600,000 of them. It's bigger than Woodstock. Children of the night, what beautiful music they made.
It was late one night on the feast of St. George. A multitude of monsters filled Transylvania Gorge. Carrying their coffins, it was plain to see this concert could go on for a whole century, with the Jefferson Vampire setting up on stage. Big Boris was holding his company in a cage.
That monster's got soul.
The mummies of invention played in several different keys, while Crosby, Stills, and Janusz sang their melodies.
It was a Monster Man jam on Halloween night.
A gathering of groovy heads out of sight.
It was a monster rock fest, a battle of the bands. Why, even the zombies were holding hands.
Far out, Three-Dog Wolf tore into their set, while blood-threatened fears broke out in a sweat. Mad dogs and werewolf men bared their teeth and tongues. Then up came Igor Cocker, screaming out his lungs. With dawn approaching, the excitement grew. We knew it was time for our special guests' cue, and they're all playing for free. No one makes any bread. And here they are now, the ungrateful dead. Heavy.
It was a Monster Man jam on Halloween night.
They got it together and did it upright.
It was a monster run fest on Dracula's lawn. And when these dudes got moving, they moved
Right on.
I wasn't ready for that ending there, but that's Bobby Pickett. Bobby Pickett, October 1970. Touch of the 70s there. That's our Halloween record of the night. Monster Concert is the name of that one, mentioning all those singers in there. That one there on the White Whale record label. Nobody seems to have a stock copy of this with a flip side for some reason. I think it came out on a couple other labels, or another label for sure. Anyway, Johnny G's here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. This next record's out of Nashville, Tennessee. This group had 3 singles on the Atco record label. This is their first. It bubbled under on Billboard at number 101, but it was a number 8 record on WTRX in Flint, Michigan. Features Dickie Lee on a lead. Yes, the same Dickie Lee that recorded hits in 1962 like Patches and I Saw Linda Yesterday, but they're called the Jones Boys. From August of 1966, the Jones Boys on Atco with it's called Impressions.
On stage, doing things because they're the rage. Play the game and follow the trend. Try to be the ones who log in. This is everybody's aim. But it's such a lonely game. Impressions. You gotta make a good impression. You gotta make a good impression. Find approval on other faces and be seen in all the right places. Look inside and what did I see? Many faces, none of them me. But since I found you, I found out I don't have to think about impressions. You gotta make a good impression. You gotta make a good impression.
groove called the Jones Boys. The Jones Boys, Dickie Lee on lead for that one. That's the first of three on the Atco label. August 1966 release, a song entitled Impressions. They would have one more release on the Cotillion label, I think in 1968. Johnny G's and Vinyl Treasure Overtime, as we'll go for a little bit more here. And up next, a group called The Eighth Day. Now, initially, this 45, actually 3 45s came off an LP by this group that came out on the Cap label, and this was a young group of teens, I think, out of Ohio, but for some reason they decided to call it quits. They left the producers hanging, and Ron Dante was involved with this group, and he wrote some of their songs along with Gene Allen. Another one involved in this project was Artie Ripp and Bob Feldman. He was the producer, but they were able to get another group kind of like to come in and finish that album that they started doing, and they were called the Opus 4. But Ron Dante took over lead vocals for the group, and the result, after this album was released, there were 3 singles that came out on the Cap label. This was the first one, and this record did well in certain parts of the United States. Regionally, it did well. This one from October 67. Give a listen to The Eighth Day. Ron Dante on lead. It's on the Cap label. It's called Hey Boy, the Girl's in Love with You.
As a guy, then you must be knowing that love she's showing. Hey boy, that girl's in love with you. Let me tell you that that girl's in love with you. Treat her right, that girl's in love with you. Hold her tight, that girl's in love with you. Her voice is soft and low when she begs you, baby, please don't go. And there's no denying that love she's trying. Hey boy, that girl's in love with you. Let me tell you that that girl's in love with you. Treat her right, that girl's in love with you. Hold her tight, that girl's in love with you. She's there by your side when you need her, then you just can't hide. Hey boy, that girl's in love with you. Let me tell you that that girl's in love with you. Treat her right, that girl's in love with you. Hold her tight, that girl's in love with you.
Yes, I showed a jukebox strip there. This record also plays like it was in a jukebox. Yeah, it's a styrene press, but that's The Eighth Day, October 1967. That's their first of 3 on the Cap record label, a song entitled Hey Boy, the Girl's in Love with You. When I was researching this record, I know they had an LP, but Dave the Rave is asking me if there was a picture sleeve. I don't know. I got to check. Somebody's got a book about picture sleeves if there was. Maybe there was, but I don't know. The group was not together. Ron Dante took over, and they came out with those those singles. Now, that jukebox strip, I used to have thousands of jukebox strips because my aunt used to buy boxes of 45's, 25 count boxes, like they would come into the record store, 25 count boxes from the jukebox dealer. He would sell them for $2 a box of 25. Take your chance on what you find in those boxes. I can't tell you the records that she passed up on that she didn't like, that were like these garage type sounds. She didn't like psychedelic. I wasn't even listening to that music back then because she was either in soul or it was certain pop sounding or country crossovers that she did keep. But for all those other records that came through the jukebox dealer, we got rid of them. She donated them. She didn't keep them. But I had all these stickers that were manufactured by, I forget the company. I was lucky to find some. I do have some from the mid-1960s and early 70s. But anyway, Johnny G babbling on. Here we are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. And let's go back to the UK for this group that formed in London, England back in '63. They had 3 45's released here in the States. Their first came out on actually they had 3. Their first one came out, I was surprised, on the Flip label, that doo-wop label out in California, late one on from '63. Then the other 2 came out on the Date label. Now here is their second. This one charted regionally. This was a big number 9 on WORC out of Worcester, Massachusetts. It features Barry Fitzgerald on lead. Let's go to December of 1966. They're called the Washington DC's. The Washington DC's on the Date label. It's called 32nd Floor.
Hanging around this crowded street, nothing to do but watching feet and hoping someday maybe we will meet. Hanging around a crowded street, my baby's up on the 32nd floor. There is a girl that I adore. Up on the 32nd floor, she is the one I'm waiting for. Way on the other side of town, I sit and watch the rain come down and think of all the troubles I have found. Way on the other side of town, and I can see the 32nd floor. There is the girl that I adore. Up on the 32nd floor, she is the one I'm waiting for. She doesn't know, she doesn't care. I'm everywhere I go, I seem to see her there. Up on the 32nd floor, there is the girl that I adore. Up on the 32nd floor, she is the one I'm waiting for. In my lonely room I found, trying to get her off my mind, but it's no use, I know I'm not her kind. Wish I could leave this room behind. I can up on the 32nd floor. There is the girl that I adore. Up on the 32nd floor, loving the girl I'm waiting for.
They're called the Washington DC's. There's a clip, Charlene mentions, there's a clip on YouTube of them doing, I think, that song. December '66 released the Washington DC's on the Date record label, a song entitled 32nd Floor. That is their second release on the Date label. Johnny G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Next is a young trio, originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but they relocated to California. They were very young. Mike was age age 12, Jeff was age 10, and Fritz was age 9. They were all brothers, Mike, Jeff, and Fritz Kirchner, Kerchner. They had 2 releases on the Warner Brothers record label. This is their first. It features Mike Kirchner on lead. This one charted number 31 on KKJO in St. Joseph, Missouri. We go back to February 1966. Give a listen to The Bantams. The Bantams on Warner Brothers. It's called Follow Me. Group called the Bantams. The Bantams, I guess the name, I don't know, Brian, you're saying that it's kind of scary. Well, it looked like Children of the Corn or something from a horror movie. But anyway, that's not really nice. But they're young kids playing the Bantams there, February 1966. It's called Follow Me on the Warner Brothers record label. They did all the TV shows, Hollywood A Go-Go, Chivalry, Where the Action Is. There's actually a clip on YouTube. You can check them out. They're lip-syncing to the song. I forget what show it is. But it's unfortunate that Jeff, I forget which one. Jeff was the 10-year-old. He passed away December 9th of 2015. He was 60 years old. Now, Mike, the lead singer, Mike passed away July 9th of 2016. A year later, he was 63. And I have the picture sleeve. I was showing the picture sleeve to those of you in the YouTube chat room. Johnny G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Been featuring lots of groups from the UK tonight. And we have another. They are from Hertfordshire. Did I say that right? Hertfordshire, England. They had 5 releases on the London label. And, of course, you know their signature song was called Concrete and Clay, came out in 1965. That was their second single. Here's their last single on the London label. We go to December of 1966 for the Unit 4 Plus 2. Unit 4 Plus 2 on London Records. It's called I Won't Let You Down.
She'll have diamonds on her hand, hurting in my body and the swell of my crown. Now, owns another day just ended. It's gonna take time for the read of her mind. Now, she'll have diamonds in her hair,
That's the last single for the Unit 4 Plus 2. Came out on the London record label December 1966. I Won't Let You Down. Hopefully not Johnny G letting you down for my All 60s show. We do it the last Saturday of every month. 3:45's to go before Johnny G signs off here. Let's go back to Nashville, Tennessee for this singer who at age 18 sent a demo tape to RCA famed country producer Chet Atkins, who signed him on the spot. Issued 10 of his singles on the RCA record label, his biggest one being a tune called Funny How Time Slips Away. But he later signed with Hickory Records, had 6 releases on the Hickory label. Let's give a listen to his 5th. He co-wrote this tune with Carl Fitzgerald. We go back to October of 1966. It's Mr. Jimmy Elledge. Jimmy Elledge here on the Hickory label with a song entitled Let Me Love You a Little, parentheses, so I can love you a lot.
Let me love you a little, so I can love you a lot. Listen, when I get going, I'm really hard to stop. Let me squeeze you a little. You'll never, never know what I've got until you let me love you a little, so I can love you a lot. Oh, don't say no when I make my show. Just let me travel on. Look me in the eyes, you might be surprised. The world that's really strong. Let me kiss you a little. I'll be Johnny on the spot. Just let me love you a little, baby, so I can love you a lot. Let me kiss you a little. I'll be Johnny on the spot. Just let me love you a little, baby, so I can love you a lot.
That's a cool tune there. Cool tune there for Jimmy Elledge. Jimmy Elledge, October 1966. On the Hickory record label, that's his 5th of 6, called Let Me Love You a Little, so I could love you a lot. And we have 2 more 45s to go before Johnny G signs off here. Here's a 45 that was in my aunt's collection. She really loved this tune, and so do I. It is a duet. Their real names were Weldon Young. I think it's Weldon Young and Brenda Lee Jones. This tune only made it up to number 91 on Billboard, 89 on Cashbox, was a top 20 song here in New York City on WMCA, and also in Troy, New York, and on WTRY. But this is their 5th of 10 releases on the Rust record label. We just heard Let Me Love You a Lot. How about I Wanna Be Loved? That's Dean and Jean from May of 64 on Rust with I Wanna Be Loved.
I wanna be loved, starting
sentimental. Oh, wrong or right. Oh, wrong or right. Oh, I feel like acting my age. I'm past the stage of merely terrible loving. I'm in no mood to resist, and I insist the world owes me love. I wanna be thrilled to desperation. I wanna be thrilled, starting tonight with every kind of wonderful sensation. Oh, I wanna be loved.
That's a tune that brings back memories to your host, Johnny G. There, Dean and Jean. On the Russ record label, their tune called I Wanna Be Loved. That one there from As I Lost My Place, May of 1964. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to original vinyl 45s out of my collection. You want to get in touch with Johnny G, send me an email. It's at vinyltreasures@aol.com. Tell me what you think about the show. Hopefully you heard some tunes tonight that you never heard before. That's what I really aim to do, and at least good tunes. I try to please everyone, but it's very difficult sometimes to do that, but I try my best, so thank you for tuning in. And we're going to close the show tonight. With a request. A request for a listener, Chuck Staton. Chuck Staton, I found by luck, not that even that I was looking for it, but I had it in the back of my mind. I found another request. I told you my 60s records are in a mess. I need like a bunch of elves to come here to file all these records, but I finally found this for Chuck. Wanted to hear this group. This group out of Philadelphia, they had their early releases on the Arctic label, also releases on Delight and on Atlantic. So Chuck requested their second of 3 on the Atlantic label. It's called Good Love Gone Bad, as done by the Ambassadors. Our closer is from March of 1968. By special request for Chuck, our closer, the Ambassadors, with Good Love Gone Bad. Hopefully Johnny G is not gone bad. Hopefully you dug all the cool 60s tunes. I do it the last Saturday of every month. Another aspect of my collection. I'll be back next Saturday at 10 p.m. for 50s and early 60s. Got a whole bunch of requests to pull for some of you listeners. Thank you for that. And I really enjoyed myself tonight. Thank you so much, Charlene, for helping me last minute. Please tune in tomorrow evening for my buddy Dave the Raven. His Relics and Rarities show starts at 9 o'clock right here on Top Shelf Oldies. And all the other shows during the week, Top Shelf Oldies, a wide variety of tunes. Hi-Fi Tim houses a bunch of DJs. They do a great job here. So I don't think any station is really like this. You get a diverse sound here and a very knowledgeable DJs and listeners. Very well schooled on a lot of the music. So again, I enjoy doing the show every Saturday from 10 to midnight. Actually, we are almost 3 hours now. And again, I'll see you next Saturday. And everybody have a safe and happy week. And just want to say, everybody, so long.
If I had, there wouldn't
That is a very cool tune. Haven't heard that in a while. There you go. And it's a nice copy. It's styrene, though. You know, I don't like styrene 45s, but this one plays pretty good. And it's at least mint. Minty. It is. I guess some people would call it VG+. Anyway, thanks a lot, folks, for tuning in. Johnny G's Beat tonight. And again, so I'll be back next Saturday. Those of you that like my 50s and early 60s, and you know, I'll be back. I'll be back in another month for the all 60s. I got to do a couple specials. I had some phone calls from some people. They asked me if I have some theme shows. I mentioned Daryl always gives me cool theme ideas, but it's hard for Johnny G to pull the 45s out for the theme show. If I had MP3s, it'd be easy, but it's not that easy for the 45s. But anyway, I also have to do we got to do a couple things, because I got to get Dave the Rave back in here for a battle of the DJs, and to see I have to give him a chance to win the crown back. So Dave's got to have a chance to do that, and probably do that soon. And I have to do the special for my aunt. Her birthday's coming up, or anniversary of her birthday, November 21st. So, but I'll try to get her favorite records to play on a 50s and early 60s show. But anyway, thanks again, folks, for sticking around. I'll see you guys here next Saturday at 10 p.m. Or you can tune in on YouTube Live or Top Shelf Oldies. So everybody have a great week, and happy Halloween out there. Take care. Bye-bye.